I remember a time where we were putting out content that actually performed. Videos were getting views. Engagement was solid. We were doing everything that you would think should work. And still, nothing was really happening. No noticeable increase in sales. No real die-hard fans. No sense that people were actually remembering us. And that was confusing. Because on paper, it looked like things were working. But something really felt off. And after some real soul searching and digging into how things actually work, that's when it hit me. We weren't building a brand, we were just making content. At the time, a lot of what we were doing was just chasing what we thought would perform. Random ideas, videos that seemed cool, things that might go viral. And to be fair, that approach had gotten the company to a certain point. But it wasn't going to take us where we actually wanted to go. Because when I really looked at it, our content was all over the place. Yeah, it had something to do with shooting. Yeah, it had something to do with doing cool things. But it didn't really connect back to anything specific about us. It didn't feel like the company and the brand that we were trying to build. It just felt like content. And so that's when we made a shift. We asked a simple question. What are we actually known for? And the answer was high performance shooting. So we built everything around that. We started creating drill-based content, taking well-known shooting standards and turning them into something we could all participate in. We also leaned into the different skill levels on the team. We showed progression. We added personality and banter. But everything we did came back to one core idea: performance shooting and spending time training with your friends. And that's when things changed. Growth, it became more stable. People started to follow along with specific individuals and genuinely care about their progress and what they were doing and how it pertained to the company and the brand. Customers started connecting with the brand. And most importantly, people started to remember us. So, why does this matter? Because most brands don't have a memory problem, they have a consistency problem. Most brands aren't remembered because they never give a customer a real chance to remember them. They are constantly changing direction, posting random content, chasing trends over here, trying new angles every week over here, talking about different things all the time. And from the inside, that can feel productive. It can even feel creative because you're constantly doing something new. But from the outside, it just looks like noise. And here's the thing most people don't realize. You see your content every single day. Your customers don't. You might see 100% of what you put out. Your audience, they might see 1%, and maybe 10 if you're really lucky. So what feels repetitive to you doesn't even register to them yet. And this is where a lot of brands mess up. They think, we've already talked about this. This feels played out. This is getting boring. So they pivot. They change direction. They try something new. And every time they do that, they reset the memory. That's why forgettable marketing usually looks like random content, trend chasing, inconsistent messaging, constantly changing direction. It never gives the customer a chance to build an association, to understand what you stand for, to connect with your brand. So what actually makes a brand memorable? Because it's not tactics. It's not one really good campaign. It's consistency. But not consistency in the way most people think either. So that's what's interesting about it. It's not just posting consistently. Consistency of messaging, consistency of positioning, consistency of experience, consistency across every touch point that your customer engages with your company. And memory is what creates trust. And trust is what makes someone choose you when they're finally ready to buy. Because the reality is, you don't control when someone is ready to buy. All you can control is whether or not they remember you when they are. So what changed for me after that realization? I stopped focusing on the micro and I started focusing on the macro. Instead of asking, what should we post today? I started asking things like, what do we want to be known for? And then everything flowed from that. We stopped being random. We stopped chasing every idea. We stopped letting creativity turn into chaos. And instead, we built guardrails. And here's something important. Those guardrails don't limit creativity. They actually enhance it. Because now, you're not starting from scratch every time. You're building on something, reinforcing something, strengthening something. That's how momentum is created. So, if I had to simplify this down to one thing, a brand becomes memorable by being consistent long enough to matter. Not just over a week, not just over a month, but over time, across every touch point. And if there's one belief I would challenge, it's this. Repetition is not boring. Repetition is how you win. It's how you build memory. It's how you build trust. And it's how you build a brand that people actually remember. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll pop down and give me a subscribe, hopefully a comment. That'd be great. And I'll see you on the next video.